if you're on one of the things you need to do is to be prepared. Prepare yourself the night before. Have your phone in one place, have your keys where they should always be, and all the other things that you require, such as documents, notebooks, your wallet, all these things, so that once you're leaving the house, you don't have to think about it. Get up early, have your alarm on, go and prepare yourself, take one last look at yourself, take one last checklist to make sure that you're okay, and once everything is in place, you're ready to leave the house in good time. That way, you'll not be late and you'll not be under any pressure. This has been Self-Care Tips.
Form 2, it came back. The condition came back, and now it was even worse. When I was in class 5, somebody proposed to my mother to take me to a certain herbalist. It was so hectic. It was so stressful. I can't say that. I also live with epilepsy. I take the drugs, I eat well, I avoid the stress, and then I just continue living like any other person.
Kenya Military Academy will be holding Cadet Pass-Out Parade this Friday, 26 November 2021. The parade consists of 320 cadets who have successfully completed their training. The event will be graced by President Uhuru Kenyatta. Catch the live event from Lanet Nakuru only on KBC.
My name is Muhammad Ahmed Mohamud, the CEO of Kenya Deposit Insurance Corporation, popularly known as KDIC. The corporation recently increased the protected sum from the previous 100,000 shillings to 500,000 shillings per account. This is the highest in sub-Saharan Africa. In effect, the corporation now covers 99% of the depositors in the unlikely event of a closure of a bank. So KDIC encourages the depositors to continue doing business with our banks that are strong and resilient.
Be sure, check out for a KDIC sticker in your banking hall. KDIC, protecting your deposits.
The Office of the Registrar of Political Parties, in partnership with eCitizen, brings you a self-service platform for management of political parties membership. At the click of a button, you can now check the political party you are registered in as a member, resign from a political party, or join a political party of choice. Simply log into your eCitizen account, select your preferred service, fill in the details, then submit. You will receive a system acknowledgement of your request, and an eCitizen system notification will be issued once the processing is complete. ORPP is committed to serve you to promote political rights in a democratic multi-party system. For more information, visit www.orpp.or.ke or engage us using our handles at ORPP Kenya across social media platforms. Your party, your choice.
Kama ni raha kuona mmoja, basi tafakari kuona wawili. Mie na pacha wangu tutaendesha meli ya Dira ya Magwiji kuanzia Jumamosi hii tarehe 27 mwezi Novemba katika KBC Channel 1. Usikose.
Good evening, welcome to Prime Edition. I am Cynthia Nyamai. We are so glad that you could join us tonight. It is the political season and the defections have started. We have the details for you, and when it comes to business, we will be telling you a little bit about affordable housing financing. And in sports, Karen Kibet is right here in studio with all the news for you. But first, let's start with the highlights.
The independence of the judiciary is deep, is fundamental. It cannot be taken away simply because I have sat with other agencies of government, with the politicians.
I will not budge. CJ Martha Kome says she is not quitting election committee. Mixed fortunes. CID boss George Kinoti elected to Interpol Executive Committee as contempt of court sentence hangs over his head.
So anybody who is a senior citizen at the age of 75 should not be charged not only today, but every day.
And good news for senior citizens as KWS waives park charges. Our sign language interpreter is Lensa Odingo. Remember, if you also have feedback for us, you can share it on our pages, KBC Channel 1 on Twitter, Facebook, and also Instagram. All right, Chief Justice Martha Kome has downplayed goals by the United Democratic Alliance to step down from the National Multi-Agency Consultative Forum on Election Preparedness. Kome says the Judicial Service Commission Act gives her the mandate to interlink government agencies, and as such, her involvement in the 2022 election preparedness is perfectly within the confines of the law.
The United Democratic Alliance has said the judiciary must be a neutral arbiter of election disputes and has no role whatsoever in its preparedness. UDA recently wrote a letter to the Chief Justice protesting her inclusion in the Election Preparation Committee. But in a rejoinder, Martha Kome has said that her role in Kenya's electoral matters is enshrined in law.
The Judicial Service Act gives me the mandate to be the link for the judiciary with other government agencies and other arms of government. It also creates the National Council on the Administration of Justice, whose mandate is to collaborate and coordinate all the actors in the administration of justice to ensure that at the end of the day we render seamless services. So I ask myself, when I come now to meet politicians, what will they say about me?
Politicians allied to the United Democratic Alliance allege that the judiciary, and by extension the Chief Justice, may be compromised by a section of the political class to influence the outcome of the 2022 general election and any ensuing election-related litigation.
She's the natural arbiter, and we want her, when these petitions are taken before courts of law, she should assume a position of being an arbiter and a neutral.
Independence of the judiciary is deep, is fundamental. It cannot be taken away simply because I have sat with other agencies of government, with the politicians. We are required by our constitution to collaborate and coordinate our affairs.
Martha Kome was speaking at the devolution conference in Makueni County, where she implored on Kenyans to defend devolution and the independence of the judiciary. For Prime Edition in Makueni County, I am Edward Kabasa.
The DCI Director George Kinoti has been elected to serve as a member of the Interpol Executive Committee for a 3-year term during the 89th session of Interpol's General Assembly held in Turkey on Thursday. Kinoti will serve together with Khalid Hamad Ibrahim Eleman of Sudan, and their work will include supervising the execution of the decision of the General Assembly, as well as preparing the agenda for sessions of the General Assembly appointment. Coming to the same day, the court declined to suspend the 4-month sentence imposed on the DCI for contempt of court.
Interpol, the global policing body headquartered in Lyon, France, announced in a tweet that Kinoti will serve alongside Nigeria's Assistant Inspector General of Police, Garba Baba Umar, who was elected the Vice President for Africa, while United Arab Emirates Major General of Police Ahmed Nasir Al-Raisi will serve as the President for the next 4 years, replacing Kim Jong-un of South Korea. Kinoti said he would seek cooperation among the 195 member states to help combat cross-border crimes. The appointment coming the same day the court announced it will give a ruling regarding an application by the Attorney General seeking to defer Kinoti's 4-month sentence handed to him for contempt of court on Monday. He was sentenced for declining to return guns and ammunition belonging to businessman Jimmy Wanjigi. Elsewhere, embattled FKF President Nick Mwendwa is a free man after the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions failed to prefer corruption charges against him. The DPP closed its file pending further investigations into the graft allegations case. On November 17th, the court gave the state 7 days to file charges against Mwendwa, failure to which he would be released.
And the DPP notified the court that they have closed the file, a confirmation that Nick Mwendwa had been arrested, detained on flimsy and trumped up charges, because if there were any charges, nothing would have been easier than to mount them today.
Mwendwa was arrested over allegations of abuse of office and mismanagement of funds. Finally, former nominated Senator Isaac Mwaura, ouster from the Jubilee Party, has been quashed by the court. In a ruling issued by the High Court, the court set aside the determination of the Political Parties Disputes Tribunal that allowed the removal of Mwaura from the Senate, arguing that the tribunal failed to give him a fair hearing. Mwaura was expelled from the party after Jubilee claimed he was advancing the political agenda of another party. For Prime Edition, I'm Ben Troinjue.
Ford Kenya's deputy party leader, Richard Onyanka, has decamped to the Orange Democratic Movement. Onyanka, who is also Kitutu Chache's South MP, was among other defectors from the Gusii region received by party leader Raila Odinga. Raila assured aspirants free and fair party nominations, calling for unity of purpose.
Orange Democratic Movement leader Raila Odinga says the party had learnt its lessons over the years and will not allow the nomination process to be bungled like in the past.
Tuligundua hiyo na tukakiri kwamba kulikuwa na makosa na tukaunda jopo kazi ifanye uchunguzi itueleze ni kitu gani ilifanyika na ni wapi. Hii jopo kazi zizuru Kenya mzima, kenda katika kila branch, ikauliza watu nini na nini na nini. Na moja ya sababu ni hii mambo ya uteuzi. Sasa wakaandika ripoti. Kuna sababu zingine, lakini kwa sababu hii ndio yenyewe maongeaji yake, tukasema tutarekebisha mambo ya uteuzi.
Raila added that the party will do everything in its power to ensure justice and fair play.
Members will vote either by a show of hands or by division, this way, or through secret ballot. members themselves agree. We're going to do secret ballot, we're going to do show of hands, we're going to go do a division. Because it's easy. Kama mtu hajatosheka inarudiwa. Kama hajatosheka tena inarudiwa. Kama hajatosheka tena inarudiwa mpaka ridhike kama ameshindwa.
The ODM leader made the remarks at Orange House in Nairobi after receiving a section of political leaders from Gusii region led by Kitutu Chache South legislator Richard Onyonka, who have jumped ship to the Orange Democratic Movement.
You know, I've been the deputy party leader of Fort Kenya. You know, I have been in politics for about 18 years. You know, I highly respect you. We pray that God gives you the energy and the strength to become the president of this country, because I believe in you, I believe in what you say, and I believe in what you talk about.
I've noted it.
Now, still in politics, Wiper Democratic Movement Party has nominated its leader, Kalonzo Musyoka, to bid for presidency in next year's general election. Kalonzo was given the green light during the party's National Delegates Conference held at the Moi International Sports Centre, Kasarani in Nairobi. Zainab Said reports.
It is at the Wiper Democratic Movement National Delegates Conference, attended by 6,000 members and invited guests, including members of the ruling Jubilee Party, Orange Democratic Movement, and One Kenya Alliance principals, that Kalonzo Musyoka accepted the nomination to be the party's presidential candidate.
I stand here today to affirm that I will not rest until all the corrupt are in jail and their ill-gotten loot is back in our coffers. As a president who seeks to serve his people, I will work for you, not you working for me. Believe me when I tell you, and I emphasize, having been fully tried and tested regarding corruption, that in a Kalonzo government there will be no room for corruption and the thieves will have no place to hide.
ODM leader Raila Odinga using the podium to hint at a possibility of working together with the former vice president.
Hiyo tunaelekea huko kama sivyo. Mimi nina hakika kwa sababu yale ambayo Kalonzo anataka ndio yale ambayo Raila Odinga anataka. Barabara yetu itakutana tena. Hapo mbele barabara yetu itakutana tena.
Amani National Congress leader Musalia Mudavadi calling on the government to ensure the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission is empowered to deliver a credible, free and fair election.
Tunataka IBC ipewe nafasi ya kutosha na ipewe usaidizi wowote ambao unahitajika ili uchaguzi ambao utakuweko 2022 usiwe uchaguzi ambao utaaibisha Wakenya na uturudishe kwa njia ambazo hazifai katika taifa letu.
Similar sentiments were echoed by Gideon Moi of Kano, Ford Kenya's Moses Wetangula and Kitui's Governor Charity Ngilu.
Weta, Kalonzo, Musalia, Gideon, Jirongo, na juzi tumeanza kusungumuza na ndugu zetu kutoka Mlima Kenya. Tunatakia nchi yetu mazuri, tunatakia nchi yetu uongozi mzuri.
When you are doing the takes, integrity, take. Honesty, take. Intelligence, take. Trustworthy, take. All the above, take. That is Kalonzo Musyoka.
Raila Amolo Odinga, my plea to us sitting here is that we will still expect you to continue the talk for the sake of this country. It will be in order for us to talk about the issues that will unite us.
It is here at the Safaricom Indoor Arena that the Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka has been given the green light by the party's delegate to contest for the country's top seat. This placing him against other candidates including Deputy President William Ruto and Gideon Moi of Kanu. For Prime Time, I'm Zainab Said.
Well, still in politics, Deputy President William Ruto has hit out at political leaders that he says want to thrive by inciting Kenyans. Speaking in Nakuru, where he took his bottom-up approach, Ruto says politics of division are outdated, calling on communities in the region to continue embracing peaceful coexistence.
Deputy President Dr. William Ruto, who has been selling his agenda across the country, on Thursday took the United Democratic Alliance Party's selling point to Nakuru County. The DP taking a swipe at a section of politicians thriving on deceit, saying there will be no room to incite Kenyans.
Kuna wanasiasa ambao wamejenga siasa yao kwa uchochezi na kupiganisha watu. Mimi nataka niwaambie hawa wanasiasa, your time is up. Tutalinda huyu jamaa wetu. Maucha mutaweka amani. Mutakataa uchochezi. Sisi kule pwani kwa sauti moja tumekubaliana yule mtu wa kitandawili lazima aende nyumbani.
The DP's brigade made stopovers at Mauche, Kihingo, Njoro and Maunarok.
Wale wa uchumi nione kwa mkono, wale wa uchumi.
Ruto, who is on a charm offensive in the Rift Valley region, urged residents to be keen and shun away politics of division.
Vile tulipanga na tukaweka mkataba hapa Nakuru, hatutaki tena tupiganishwe na siasa. Sisi tuko na vita ya kutosha na mambo ya umaskini na kupanga ajira ya hawa vijana.
Nyinyi mlipata amani baada ya Rais Uhuru Kenyatta kushikana na William Ruto. Kweli ama uongo? Na rais huyu mpya William Ruto akiendelea, Uhuru Kenyatta akistaafu, sikutakuwa na amani?
The DP, while promising that UDA party will fulfill the promises Jubilee Party made to Kenyans in 2013 and 2017, expressed confidence in his race to State House.
Ninauliza nyinyi, si huyu kitendawili alishindwa na Moi? Si alishindwa na Kibaki? Si alishindwa na Uhuru? Atawezana kweli na Hasla? Si tulipanga serikali ya 2013? Si tulipanga serikali ya 2017? Ninauliza nyinyi, hii ya 2022 itatushinda kweli?
Mumesema 10 ya Ruto. Hebu nione ni wangapi wanasema Ruto tosha.
Mtapigia kura watu wa UDA, watu wa Wilbaro. Mtapigia gavana wa Wilbaro.
Kamchemenza for Prime Edition.
Kilifi County manganese mine workers and their families in Katsina area of Ganze sub-county have benefited from a free medical camp hosted by First Lady Margaret Kenyatta's Beyond Zero initiative. The initiative is set to provide a medical service to the community. The camp was hosted by Beyond Zero in collaboration with Kilifi County Committee Organization, Beth Mugo Foundation and Lion Kenya, who offered an area of medical services. At least 210 mine workers and their families have benefited from the initiative. Besides medical services, the Beyond Zero initiative donated foodstuff to the mine workers, their families and the community.
So pale mtaongeleshwa kulingana na kitu unataka, watakwambia mazingira yenda. Alafu
Organization of Trade Union Secretary General Francis Atwoli has blamed the government for the miseries encountered by Kenyans seeking employment in the Middle East. The Kotu boss says failure by the government to formalize labor agreements with other countries, especially those in Middle East, has provided a breeding ground for unscrupulous employment bureaus to take advantage of innocent Kenyans. More of this in the county news wrap.
The Kotu boss, who was speaking at a labor immigration seminar in Kisumu, blamed some unnamed senior government officials for creating an environment for innocent Kenyans to be transported abroad under unclear labor terms.
We have a problem in Qatar. And do you know who is causing these problems in East Africa? Our ministers, senior government officials, like in the case of Kenya. Those people who own the employment bureaus and employment agencies are senior government officers.
And Boni residents in Lamu County have raised concerns over the scarcity of the COVID-19 vaccines. The residents calling on the government to intervene and send more vaccines to the area to help curb the virus and beat the government's December 21st deadline that all citizens are vaccinated.
Eneo ya Boni mpaka saa hii haijafika hii chanjo ya COVID-19. Hawa saa hii umetolewa almost kilomita 140.
Elsewhere, a section of residents in Mandera County are staring at a blank future following the collapse of their miraa business in Maua, Meru County. The collapse was attributed to a spat between Kenya and Somalia relations as far back as 2016, resulting in Somalia banning the importation of miraa business into the country. Most of the traders have been forced to relocate to their ancestral county of Mandera to start their life from the scratch. Speaking during the launch of the county bursary and scholarship schemes in Kajiado North, Kajiado Governor Joseph Ole Lenku said his administration has enhanced the kitty to support deserving learners achieve their academic dreams.
Zindua bursary ya milioni 50 kwa kaunti nzima, ikiwa pamoja na scholarship ambaye ni sehemu imeanza wakati wa uongozi wangu, na tunafahamu pia kwamba hapo awali hatukuwa na msaada kwa wale wanaenda vocational training centers kufanya craft courses na pia kupata what we call skills for life, watoto waweze kujiajiri.
Finally, well wishes from East Africa Sub-Saharan Promotion Foundation have donated a wheelchair to support Peter Irungu, who has been living with disability for the past 1 year. Peter, who hails from Thika, could not hide his joy after receiving the donation that will enable his mobility.
Akaniambia ningepata wheelchair ningefurahi vizuri, ningekuwa sasa nimefaidika, naweza kusonga, to move around in the town. Therefore we went ahead and we bought him a wheelchair. So we've been looking around to see how we can get a cheaper house, that now we move him from where he's sleeping to a cheaper house.
Well, feedback from one of our viewers, Evans Limbe, asking if we're going to have Tech One. Well, Tech One is coming up during the business segment after the break.
The Kenya Medical Training College will hold its 90th graduation ceremony on December 2nd, 2021 at KMTC Graduation Square, Nairobi from 10 a.m. A mandatory graduation fee of 2,500 Kenya shilling is payable on or before 30th November 2021 to National Bank via the details on your screen. Adorning graduation gown will be optional, and graduates wishing to get one can visit KMTC headquarters in Nairobi from 15th to 29th November 2021. Join the event on the KMTC YouTube channel at KMTC Official. Visit www.kmtc.ac.ke for more information on the graduation, training programs, and application procedure. KMTC, training for better health.
When I was in Form 2, it came back. The condition came back.
And now it was even worse. When I was in class 5, somebody proposed to my mother to take me to a certain herbalist. It was so hectic. It was so stressful. I can't say that. I also live with epilepsy. I take the drugs, I eat well, I avoid the stress, and then I just continue living like any other person.
Kama ni raha kuona mmoja, basi tafakari kuona wawili. Mie na pacha wangu tutaendesha meli ya Dira ya Magwiji kuanzia Jumamosi hii tarehe 27 mwezi Novemba katika KBC Channel 1. Usikose.
Welcome back. And now to business. The European Investment Bank has joined finances supporting the Affordable Housing Plan in Kenya by announcing funding for a 22 billion shillings initiative to construct cheaper houses. The bank is supporting plans by International Housing Solutions Kenya to construct more than 8,200 new affordable and energy efficient homes for low and middle income families. As Teresa Mutai reports, the European Investment Bank is committing another 28 billion shillings in financing for businesses adversely affected by COVID-19.
The European Investment Bank has made Nairobi its first regional hub in Africa and committed 50 billion shillings in financing for private sector COVID-19 resilience and investments in fragile contexts, as well as affordable and energy efficient housing. The bank is funding a new housing initiative that will focus on building homes and housing units that use best practice design to reduce energy and water use.
To date, we have raised about $700 million from institutional investors, primarily focused on affordable housing. We have about 29,000 units we've completed.
More than 8,200 new affordable houses would be constructed under the initiative, offering residents cooler homes in warm months as well as lower electricity and water bills.
We have already begun identifying areas and places where we are going to operate.
The European Investment Bank and the Cooperative Bank of Kenya has also announced a targeted financing initiative of 6.3 billion shillings for companies in sectors most challenged by COVID-19 pandemic.
Kenyan companies will be able to access long-term loans in KSH with tenors of up to 7 years.
Supporting us now with a 50 million euro facilities in Kenya shillings. That's about 6 billion Kenya shillings. And this line is going to SMEs who will be in a position to support SMEs coming out of the COVID-19 epidemic that has been there.
Cooperative Bank CEO Gideon Muriuki said the lender will immediately avail the cash to businesses to help fund acquisitions of tangible business assets, working capital, development of distribution networks, and contribute to recovery of businesses affected by COVID-19 challenges. Reporting for Prime Edition, I am Teresa Mutai.
The government is challenging players in the energy sector to embrace technology that would not have adverse effects on the environment. Energy Cabinet Secretary Monica Juma says there is a need for interface between manufacturers and research institutions to grow Kenya's renewable energy sector, defined by homegrown green energy innovations.
Kenya is targeting to reduce greenhouse emissions by 32% in the next 10 years, with emphasis on adoption of technology that reduce climate change. Manufacturers have welcomed the decision, saying there is a need to find a way of maintaining growth without harming the environment.
We are happy that with government and as the association, we said we've been committed to saying that even as we grow this energy, we need clean energy. How can we grow this energy without impacting our environment negatively?
Players in the energy sector are banking on partnerships to help take advantage of opportunities emerging in Kenya's growing renewable sector, even as some of them have begun embracing green energy solutions.
We are also enhancing our deployment of renewable energy sources such as solar, and we had, as at June this year, constructed and commissioned 21 solar mini-grids in off-grid plants, and are planning to construct another 100 with support from the World Bank.
I dare say that this is a new sector, and so the discussions that are going on now, we must be part of that discussion that defines this pathway, that shapes the technology, that gets involved in the production of the technology. And so all those things of ERDs, the research and development, the interface between manufacturing and our institutions of innovation, universities, research institutions, and so forth, must really be pursued consciously and deliberately.
Kenya plans to raise 6.2 trillion shillings to execute policies and programs that will help to reduce greenhouse emissions, with 13% of this amount being sourced domestically. Alanauko, Prime Edition.
ICT Cabinet Secretary Joe Musheru is rallying the academia and the private sector to work closely with the government in updating or redesigning ICT courses to meet the needs of the job market. Musheru says the government is keen on closing the gap between the digital market requirements and courses being taught in institutions of higher learning to meet the growing demand for ICT skills. As he backside narrates, 55% of jobs in Kenya by the year 2030 are expected to depend on digital skills, up from the current 25%.
Kenya boasts of being Africa's Silicon Savannah, with 2 million youth working online currently, as the country targets to increase this sevenfold to 15 million by the year 2030. ICT Cabinet Secretary Joe Musheru says integration into the digital workspace requires a massive investment in relevant skills in order for the youth to take advantage of opportunities presented by the digital and gig economy.
Youth are the most critical resource that the country has and will ever have in the foreseeable future. Therefore, investing in them through the provision of relevant skills and training is of utmost importance as they continue to face challenges and risks largely attributed to skills gaps. It is important for both government, academia, and the private sector to devise relevant programs that directly address the challenges they face with urgency. This includes collaboration to help academia update their curriculum to cater to the changing technological developments and market demand.
We are emphasizing on the need for close industry, ministry, or ministry collaboration. Therefore, if this document has got some recommendations that are going to advance, that are going to accelerate the talent development, the ministry will embrace that kind of a thing. And that's
They made the remarks during the release of a white paper on ICT talent cultivation for Kenya's digital economy. The white paper recommends policy shifts, enhancing ICT readiness for students from the most basic education level, an increase in the number of ICT students to meet the growing job demands, and establishment of a national ICT skills database.
Kenya's digital economy is expected to generate 9.24% of the total GDP by 2025.
The youths can take advantage of the digital transformation, then the issue of youth unemployment can also be solved. But we need to make our education respond to the digital transformation that is currently ongoing.
The report notes that there is low adoption of e-learning in Kenya due to high costs of internet, few people owning devices that support e-learning, electricity challenges, and low ICT literacy levels. With a growing digital economy and institutions of higher learning only churning out 5,000 ICT certified students every year, will we be able to keep up with this new labor market? Reporting for Prime Edition, my name is Hibak Saeed.
When passengers are traversing borders, customs officials have to check the items in their possession to ensure that they meet tax requirements and they have followed the legal procedure of crossing borders. This check is also to ensure that prohibited items are not moved across the borders. Tonight on the EAC integration segment, Betty Kiptum highlights some of the goods EAC member countries have restricted or prohibited.
At the border points, customs officials categorize passengers into different classes based on prevailing alerts as well as risk profiles. They then examine passenger luggage and conduct body searches as deemed necessary.
Various flights have been categorized. Countries, origins have been categorized based on the past interception that have been made.
They are then directed through two channels, the green and red channels.
A passenger makes a declaration by even just choosing the channel that you've gone through.
Okay.
So if you have anything, probably you need to declare and you decide to go to the green channel. Already, as per customs, you've made a declaration that this is where I'm going, and that's a full declaration because probably you had something that you needed to declare to customs, but you've decided to use the green channel.
The green channel is meant for passengers who have nothing to declare and are carrying allowable dutiable goods. The passengers simply walk through the green channel with their luggage. Diplomats, military personnel, business people, returning students, delegates of short meetings usually use the green channel. On the other hand, the red channel is meant for passengers who have something to declare or are carrying goods in excess of the duty-free allowance. The passenger hands over the passenger declaration form to the officer on duty at the channel. In case the card is incomplete, the customs officer helps to record the oral declaration of the passenger and thereafter stamps it after taking the passenger's signature.
We've done a lot of sensitization because we would want an informed passenger. It's always good to deal with somebody who's informed. And you'd find where there's a misdeclaration, we'll go through the whole process of just getting to know why you're declaring, and the officer there will be able now to ask you, and will be like, now we need now to go through the process of probably compounding, and fines will be levied on that.
There are items where you need permits from authorities to move across borders. Restricted items for import and export are set out in the 2nd and 3rd schedule of the East African Community Customs Management Act. Except with written permits, postal franking machines, traps capable of killing or capturing any game animal are restricted. You will require authorization from relevant government agencies to bring in drones, arms and ammunition, including military weapons, bombs, grenades and swords. Unwrought precious metals and stones, bones and collagen, game, ivory, ivory powder, tortoise shell, whalebone and whalebone hair, horns, antlers, hoover, nails, claws and beaks, shells or mollusses and crustaceans are restricted. The East African Community Customs Management Act outlines prohibited items for import or export. These include false money and counterfeit currency notes and coins, pornographic materials in all kinds of media, indecent or obscene printed paintings, books, cards, and any other indecent or obscene articles. Also prohibited are narcotic drugs under international control, hazardous wastes, soaps and cosmetic products containing mercury, as well as used tires for light commercial and passenger vehicles. Betty Kiptum, Prime Edition.
And now to some good news. Those aged 75 and above, accompanied by one person of their choice, a driver, a vehicle, will access the Nairobi National Park at no charge for the next 30 days. However, those who do not meet the age criteria will have to ensure they are among the first 75 visitors to the park on 16th December when the park marks its 75th anniversary to enjoy the freebie.
The Nairobi National Park has a rich history that dates back to 1946 when it was gazetted by the then British colonial government. Since then, the park stands out globally as the only national park within a capital city.
And as we prepare to celebrate the park's birthday, we acknowledge the many challenges and milestones that the park has gone through or has has achieved, including what we are going through currently, which is the COVID-19 pandemic.
As the park marks its 75th anniversary on the 6th of next month, the Ministry of Tourism and Wildlife has launched precursor events and programs to drive visitor numbers. Among them is free entry to 75-year-olds and above, accompanied by one person of their choice, a driver and a vehicle.
So anybody who is a senior citizen at the age of 75 will allow you in. I know I'm not qualified. So all our senior citizens, we want to give consideration, and in fact we will review the policy. All senior citizens at that age should not be charged not only today but every day. So when they want to enter, but alone, not with a group.
Come January next year, visitors will be able to reserve their park visits online as part of a strategy to revitalize the tourism industry that includes individual branding of the country's national parks.
So that you pay electronically, M-Pesa or by credit card, you book online.
The Nairobi National Park, the first of its kind to be hosted within a capital city, opened its doors in 1946, and 75 years later, stakeholders are optimistic conservation is going to ensure that this iconic park remains here for generations to come, not only to entertain but also inform and push the conservation story far and wide. I'm Regina Manyara, reporting for KBC.
The Office of the Registrar of Political Parties, in partnership with eCitizen, brings you a self-service platform for management of political parties membership.
My name is Samson, and you will face the wrath of God.
For more information, visit www.orpp.or.ke or engage us using our handles at ORPP Kenya across social media platforms. Your party, your choice.
They recently won the Afrima Awards 2021 as the best group in African jazz. The collective sounds of their new EP describe African heritage, love, growth, culture, expression, uniqueness, and togetherness. The Homesphere Band will be live and it's gonna be lit. Only on Easy Friday with Shiksha Aurora, right here on KBC Channel 1.
Do you have a news story to share with KBC? Get in touch swiftly on email newsroom@kbc.co.ke, call 0723-892-654 or 0734-780-124.
Kenya Military Academy will be holding Cadet Pass-Out Parade this Friday, 26 November 2021. The parade consists of 320 cadets who have successfully completed their training. The event will be graced by President Uhuru Kenyatta. Catch the live event from Lanet Nakuru only on KBC.
Welcome back. Now, cotton farmers in Busia County are appealing to the government to subsidize GMO cotton seeds ahead of planting season. They say that the high-yielding GMO variety is expensive as compared to ordinary varieties being freely distributed. A kilo of GMO cotton seed is retailing at 2,200 shillings.
According to the latest data by the Agriculture and Food Authority, AFR, Kenya's cotton production increased 16% last year on better quality seeds to 3,495 tons, despite a 45% drop in the acreage under cash crop. Farmers grew cotton on 9,998 hectares of land in 2020, down from 18,000 hectares the previous year. In 2020, the government distributed 24 tons of superior hybrid GMO cotton seeds for planting by farmers on about 10,000 acres. The average price of cotton seed per kilo fell to 48 shillings last year from 52 shillings in 2019. And today, farmers from Busia County are calling on the Ministry of Agriculture to offer the GMO cotton seeds ahead of the planting season. They say the ordinary cotton seeds being freely distributed have low yields as compared to the GMO cotton that matures faster, and the yield per acre is much higher.
Iko tofauti sana na ile variety ambayo tulikuwa tunaipanda mbeleni. Ile variety ambayo tulikuwa tunaipanda mbeleni ilikuwa ya kudiscourage wakulima. Lakini kwa kweli hii ukiangalia germination yake ni sawa sawa. Like last year germination yake ilikuwa kama almost 70%.
Tulikuwa tunafikiria kwamba serikali itatuletea mbegu ya BT. Ametuletea tena ile mbegu ya kitambo ambayo ukipanda hata saa hii unaweza pata ameweka mbegu 100 na ile inaweka hata mbegu 10 tu peke yake.
The farmers are appealing to the government to subsidize GMO cotton seeds or distribute the seeds on loan to attract more farmers. A kilo of GMO cotton is retailing at 2,200 shillings.
Kwa naomba serikali kama ingewezekana wangeleta hiyo BT cotton kwa loan. Yani BT cotton seeds kwa loan, alafu wapeane wakulima.
Serikali ingeleta hiyo mbegu, wakulima angepanda hii pamba kwa wingi sana, tungekuwa na pamba mingi sana katika jinari yetu ya Luanda.
The farmers from Teso South and Samia sub-counties noted that with the revival of cotton production in the area, they are now able to fend for their families.
Mimi nilifuna pamba mingi, 1 acre hii nikaweza kupanda pamba mingi na kufuna pamba mingi na nikapata pesa mingi ambayo nikikompare hata na mahindi haifikii, hata na miwa haifikii kwa kilo.
COVID-19 pandemic disrupted most businesses, reducing sales and profits. But for herbs and spices farmers in Kiambu, COVID-19 pandemic was a blessing since it grew demand and prices, as it was believed that there was consumption that would boost immunity. On this week's edition of Farmers, we explore herbs and spice farming.
Over the years, tea and coffee have been the main high-value crops in Kiambu County, despite the fortunes and returns of the two cash crops dwindling. Farmers in Kiambu have embraced the growing of herbs and spices commercially. With pressure on land in the region, farmers say herbs and spices can be cultivated in small pieces of land and still get enough yield to sustain their livelihoods.
The people who are controlling those farms are our parents, who are also not so much willing to change their traditional farming activities. But we have done some comparisons with a quarter of an acre of herbs. Remember, herbs are high value crops.
On an acre of land, one can produce up to 1.2 tons of herbs and spices, fetching about 240,000 shillings monthly.
A quarter of an acre of herbs is equivalent to 3.5 acres of tea in terms of the economic aspect. So if you have 3.5 acres of land, it would be equivalent with quarter of an acre of herbs. Kimapato.
Those diagnosed with lifestyle diseases are the key market for the farmers.
Most of our main customers are the people who are struggling with what you call the NCDs, non-communicable diseases, the likes of diabetes, like of TB, ulcers and all that. No, these are our main customers.
The COVID pandemic saw demand for herbs increase, as it was believed that their consumption boosted immunity.
We're also getting other people who we call them the wellness revolutionists. These are the people who just want to eat healthy, to eat well, to remain well. So we also have quite a huge group of people coming up who just want to know the right type of food that they should be eating.
Demonstrations and collaboration with organic promoting organizations such as Participatory Ecological Land Use Management, PELAM, has secured more market for the herbs and helped increase their farm gate prices.
We have in total 27 different varieties of herbs and spices. And then what we do, we have got a lot of agribusiness activities along herbs and spices farming, because one of the things that we do is to provide consultancy services through training interested farmers into the production and the business aspect of herbs and spices.
The process of decommissioning Line 1, which had been the pipeline for the transporting petroleum products from Mombasa to Nairobi, will be completed next month. Kenya Pipeline Company plans to upscale the capacity of Line 5 that was commissioned in 2018 to move more fuel products.
The old Line 1 pipeline was commissioned in 1978 and had long outlived its 25-year design life. The 14-inch pipe was replaced with the 20-inch Line 5 2 years ago.
One, it is of a higher capacity, 1 million liters per hour. The Line 1 was 880,000 liters per hour. Number two, when the line is new, the maintenance is not so much.
In the second phase of the project, Line 5's capacity will be raised to 1.8 million liters per hour. The success of Line 5 now paves the way for the commissioning of Line 1, which entails removing 41.6 million liters of oil products from the old line using water.
The line had Jet 1 and AGO or diesel products, so we have displaced 15 million liters of products. We are having a balance of almost 25 million liters of products remaining in the line.
To hasten the process, the company is connecting a pump between the oil pipeline and the Mzima Springs line at Ndii in Taita Taveta County.
The water pipeline and the product pipeline are 200 meters apart. So we are connecting the water pipeline to our product pipeline so that Mombasa Water can schedule supply of water directly into the line and displace products to Nairobi. That way it will be faster.
Kennedy Sir for Prime Edition.
Many smallholder farmers face the challenge of sourcing the right information that connects them to relevant information, quality inputs, and credible agriculture services. However, a section of village-level farmers is increasingly leveraging on social enterprises that provide a one-stop online-offline marketplace that connects them in local communities to ensure increased farm production. Tonight on Tech One, we take a look at how technology is disrupting rural disruption systems for Kenyan smallholder farmers.
According to a study by the US-based Haifia International, there is a low agricultural tech adoption across Kenya, with only 23% of farmers engaged in agriculture using any form of agricultural technology. This means that access to information and digitization of agricultural service delivery still remains untapped as enablers of a robust food system.
Rural poverty rate stands at 62% in sub-Saharan Africa, and here in Kenya it stands at 67%. 80% of rural population depend on informal traders to access key inputs and services. These traders face numerous challenges ranging from supply chain to inability to support last mile extension to management challenges.
One solution to these challenges is by adopting accurate information about farmers and their enterprises through an application, SMS, website or software where farmers are able to digitize their operations and offer the right products and services, thereby expanding their access and service to rural farming populations.
We provide a one-stop supply chain solution linking last-mile farmers to credible manufacturers of agriculture inputs, thereby addressing price exploitation, quality issues of inputs, and also increasing transparency of access of quality agricultural inputs to smaller farmers.
Founded by Samuel Mungete, Kenyan startup Shamba Pride is one such innovation where farmers are able to connect via any kind of phone to get information relevant to their needs.
This technology makes it possible to offer last mile extension and advisory services, and also informal traders. They use this technology to digitize and modernize their business operations. A modern retail agriculture supply chain is long-term, is scalable and sustainable sustainable solution. It is evident that markets have potential to transform along a very predictable path from traditional and informal to modern trade. This technology makes it possible to offer last mile extension and advisory services, and also informal traders. They use this technology to digitize and modernize their business operations.
Shamba Pride works through its digital platform DigiShop, which can be accessed by service providers and farmers via a USSD code or by downloading from Android's Play Store. Mungeti says the innovation targets rural smallholder farmers and agro-dealer shops who farm multiple crops throughout the year and keep some animals.
Military Academy will be holding Cadet Pass-Out Parade this Friday, 26 November 2021. The parade consists of 320 cadets who have successfully completed their training. The event will be graced by President Uhuru Kenyatta. Catch the live event from Lanet Nakuru only on KBC.
Kama ni raha kuona mmoja, basi tafakari kuona wawili. Mie na pacha wangu tutaendesha meli ya Dira ya Magwiji kuanzia Jumamosi hii tarehe 27 mwezi Novemba katika KBC Channel 1. Usikose.
A very good evening to you. I do hope you're holding up well. Let's get sporty. My name is Karen Kibet. Now, Kenya's representative in the CAF Confederations Cup, Tusker FC and Gor Mahia, will be in action this weekend as they seek a place in the group stages of the continental competition. Kenyan champions Tusker will host Tunisia's CS Sfaxien at the Nyayo National Stadium, while Gor Mahia play Congolese club AS Otoho at the Stade Alphonse in Brazzaville on the same day. Kogalo expected to leave the country tomorrow.
Former Kenya Premier League champions Gor Mahia will only have a travelling squad of 15 players when they head to Congo to play Otoho in their CAF Confederations Cup. Gor Mahia midfielder Sydney Ocheng has been ruled out of the first leg of the final preliminary round after he sustained a hamstring injury in the club's build-up match against Kisumu All-Stars last weekend, which Kogalo lost 2-1. Initially, the club had expressed optimism the experienced former Tusker player will be fit for the game, but it has not been the case. Ocheng's absence leaves the club with just 15 players ahead of the match. Meanwhile, Tusker FC will be at home against Tunisian side Sfaxien at the Nyao National Stadium. Tusker were relegated from the CAF Champions League after losing 5-0 on aggregate to Egyptian champions Zamalek. They had earlier disposed of Djibouti's Atasola 4-1 on aggregate before facing Zamalek.
All the best to Tusker FC and Gor Mahia. Moving on, athletes drawn from Kenya's home of champions E10 in Elgeyo Marakwet County have asked the government to provide training facilities in a bid geared towards nurturing talent and promoting athletics. The athletes shared the sentiments during the ongoing Athletics Kenya Athletes Consultative Forum.
More than 500 athletes gathered for consultative forum, the largest group to have ever been witnessed since the sessions kicked off about 2 weeks ago. Athletes who took part in the forum pleaded with the government to provide training facilities.
Kila mtu anatrainia, unapata all over the world watu wanakuja hapa kutrain, lakini unapata watu wakifika hapa unapata facilities yenyewe penye accommodation yao iko sawa, juu manyumba iko sawa, lakini penye wanatrainia ni ngumu sana. Kwa ajili mtu analipa fare kwenda mpaka Eldoret kwenda kutrain.
Kamarini Stadium, which was the only public stadium in the area, was closed for renovations for about 5 years ago. The athletes have asked the government to step up efforts of refurbishing the stadium.
One of the facility in E10 here is Kamarin. It has been there, and we don't see any action being taken by the national government, because it's a national government project. We really hope that because most of athletes used Kamarin, and it has been, their results have been poor because we have to drive all the way to Eldoret.
April time I saw the CS coming to the place, and really we don't know what is happening. They should have to be faster so that they can assist that.
Authority is concerned. I think the concern is that the athletes would like to have this stadium very immediately accomplished, so that they could be having at least a place where they could be able to do proper practice.
E10 is famous for producing top cream long distance runners. In 2019, it was awarded a heritage plaque by the global athletics governing body World Athletics as an ideal training place for long distance running. Frederick Muki for Channel 1 Sports.
Thank you, Moki, for that report. Kenya Table Tennis Association President Andrew Mudibo has been re-elected to the board of directors of the International Table Tennis Federation. He was elected during the sports body's hybrid annual general meeting in Houston, America on Wednesday to become the only current sports Kenyan administrator holding high positions in both the continental and world body at the same time. During the international elections, Kenyan Jen Pinto, the president of KTTA, was appointed as the first female life honorary member of the ITTF. She becomes the first woman to have been awarded this position, making history in the process. And finally, Manchester City came back from a goal down to stand PSG 2-1 and claim top spot in Group A to seal qualification for the European Champions League last 6. Elsewhere, Liverpool maintained their 100% record in the competition this season by seeing off Porto 2-0 at Anfield to book a spot in the knockout stages as Group B winners.
Second half goals by Thiago Alcantara and Mohamed Salah sealed Liverpool's 2-0 routine victory over Porto as they easily progressed to the knockout stages of the competition.
Henderson back into Salah, who scores!
In what was an uneventful first half of the game, neither set of players was able to find the back of the net. In other matches, Besiktas lost 1-2 at home to Ajax, Inter 1, while Real Madrid beat Sheriff Tiraspol 3-0.
They're claiming the goal. Indeed. Benzema.
And that's your sports. Do have yourself a peaceful night. My name is Karen Kibet, but I do hand you back to Cynthia Nyamai so that she can wrap up the broadcast for us tonight.
Thank you, Karen, for all the action in sports. And we do have a comment from Kenny, says that he wants to have Tax 101 back. We will definitely let you know about that in the next bulletin. From me and the rest of the crew right here in studio, we do wish you a good night.
The Office of the Registrar of Political Parties, in partnership with eCitizen, brings you a self-service platform for management of political parties membership.
My name is Samson, and you will face the wrath of God.
For more information, visit www.orpp.or.ke or engage us using our handles at